Hello, it's the weekend, and because it's the weekend we get to spend some time in the workshop. Been a bit stormy overnight and we've had a lot of rain, so just all make sure that we're not flooded. There's been a little bit of water in there but nothing too drastic. So I'm contemplating a couple of jobs today. First of all, I need to have a little bit of a tidy up. I've just finished the raised and fielded panel project, and to be honest that's been quite a slog, so I'm glad it's finished. This is my Aldi router table, which gets moved from pillar to post and as always seems to be in the way. So I'm going to clear this bench and I'm going to partially dismantle it, and I'm going to put it in the bench under there, which then will sit under the Mitre Saw and shouldn't be too much in the way. So I'm going to tidy up and then we'll get cracking on this router table. What are you doing, darling? This little Zito random orbital sander I bought a couple of years ago for £25. I paid for this at Brunnings store in Sheffield, and I have to say, for the money, it's a great little sander. If you put a 60 grit disc in it, it's almost like an angle grinder, it's so fierce. On the other hand, these little eBay clamps I bought, absolute garbage. The top is just 20mm melamine. It was an old desk that I repurposed. The front was repurposed off the old staircase, and I will make a video of that one day. It is by far a project that I am most proud of. I'd like to show you that at some point. And then underneath, other than a couple of bike wheels and a few spiders, I've got a clear run there to mount the router table. For those of you that's not familiar with the supermarket chain Aldi, which is a German supermarket which are now prevalent all over Europe, pretty much every week at Aldi they have a special item. Some weeks it's cycling equipment, some weeks it's camping equipment, and some weeks it's woodworking or DIY tools. And when they do have one, some of the tools are quite good and relatively inexpensive. So the router, basically this comes in two. The router is about £40 and the table's about £40, and actually for what you get, it's not a bad little bit of kit. You get a couple of feather boards. In fact, I think you get 4 feather boards, but the other 2 are somewhere, and a few. You get the router comes with some cutters. Take the legs off, take the side table off, and mount this part of the table in the bench. So I think the next job is I'm going to have to strip these legs off and strip all this down until I'm left with just that base plate. Basic kit that I'm thinking of installing. So now we've got it out, so let's just put it down there. So I'll take some measurements. Okay, so this thing is 460 or just over 18 inch by 330 by about 13 inch. I can't put it outside that zone, and I can't put it outside about that zone, so I've got all that wiggle room for it, and I've got no restrictions that way. Thinking is I put it sort of centrally in that table, so that to the middle is about 81. I've got a concrete wall over here, so that's going to be, so that's about 67, so probably if I move it towards you by 6 or 7 inch and have the centre of it about there, I think. And I'll probably put it relatively forward, I think. I don't think that'll hamper it. So I reckon about there, which is about 3 inch 75mm from the front of the bench. I'll put a line there for a reference straight away, and get something that's relatively straight, or as straight as this casting is anyway. Then we'll probably have that there and about there then. So I think that's my line, that's my centre. Put that on the line and then draw around it. Okay, so the next question is, how am I going to cut the hole out? I don't have a bearing router cutter here, and I can't be bothered buying one, just because I'll have to wait about a week for it to turn up. So I'd like to crack on with this today, so that gives me two options. I have a freehand it with a jigsaw, or I could put a straight edge and run the router down. So I initially started to cut the hole with the router, and straight away broke the bit. It was the only bit I had, so then I had to make a substitution for the jigsaw. I've just realised I could have done this with my truck, so oh well. Once I got the hole cut, I placed the router table insert in and started to beat it to death with a rubber mallet. Actually, I hate the way that jigsaws don't cut plumb and deviate off the line, but actually in this occasion it's worked out quite well because it gives it a little bit of a friction fit, so it'll be easy just to friction fit it there while I find a way to support it from underneath. And then just to make sure it was totally dead, I hit it some more. Until it was finally flush with the top. Flat anyway, it's a bit wavy, but what do you want for 40 quid, eh? Actually, I think because of the way that the flange on here has got some bolt holes in it to bolt the extra tables on, them bolts are falling into the edge. So if I put some fixings in there into the edge of the chipboard, it would support it. Now, I'm not sure that that is the only support I'm going to put on. I'll actually make some corner plates or something, but it'll certainly hold it there while I do something else. I'll just put a couple of screws in. I ended up installing a small subframe from 2x1 timber and then screwing it to that, and then reinstall the router. The table came with a 0 voltage switch, so I installed this at the end of the bench. That's that little job done. Hope you enjoyed that quick video. If you found it useful or interesting, please give me a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel. Until next time, bye.